Spirituality is who we are. Without a spirit, we stink in one day. So we better get spiritual. And we are no longer stimulated through our biggest organ, which is our skin. Our skin is completely covered every day. That's why we have to prove beyond belief, beyond speculation, that this is the new science, that humans are able to tap into their immune system. And autonomy, I think, is the right thing to bring massively to the humanity right now. So if we just take the damn cold shower, we just activate all our system, and then it's done. It's like a checkup.
I'd like to welcome to the show Wim Hof. How you doing, Wim?
All good. Great to go.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. Wim, I've been such a fan of your work for many years now. I've tried many of your techniques personally. I've seen the power of them, and I am all about helping you on your mission in this life to get this information out to the world. And when I started this show a few years ago, I was like, I got to get Wim on the show. I want my audience to be able to understand the power of what you do and how you do it. But before we jump into the Wim Hof Method, what was your life like before you began developing this method?
Actually practicing the method. That is what I was doing. While practicing, because you do not really know what you are doing, but it feels so good. It made me strong. So I was already doing this at least 30 years before it got out. And I got in contact with a newspaper one day. That was in 1997. And they then came and made an article, and from there television suddenly began to drop in. And then they began to challenge me, like, hey, yeah, what I can do outside in winter time, in freezing temperatures, without warming up, do all kinds of exercising, deep freezing under the ice, being outside, impossible it is what this man is doing, but he is doing it amazing. They began to challenge me through television shows. And I was able to take on any challenge they come up with in the freezing cold. So there my journey with the television started. And they took me to the Himalayas, to the North Pole, to America, Paris, London, everywhere. Began to do world records everywhere in the world. And then finally I got caught up by scientists who wanted to do experiments on me, cold physiological experiments. And then they saw me doing what normally was not considered possible by a human. And then they came with a new intervention, which is the endotoxemia. Endotoxemia is like an injection with the E. coli bacteria. And they began to see if Wim Hof is able to withstand the E. coli bacteria, making them not sick, what normally makes people sick. And in my case, I did not become sick. And that really was against all what the doctors have been reading in literature, medical literature. A human is not able to resist the reaction of E. coli bacteria on the immune system. Then you get inflammation. That is the normal reaction in literature, but Wim Hof does not. So what is happening? So they looked inside the blood while I was doing my techniques in the hospital after the injection. And then they saw me influencing deeply into the autonomic nervous system and the innate immune system, or both considered to be inaccessible by humans. But I did it. And then they said, but you are the Iceman. They call you the Iceman. You are special, superhuman. I said, no, I'm a normal guy who has been in nature, who has found things, and now I want to share this with the whole wide world. That's why we have to prove beyond belief, beyond speculation, that this is the new science, that humans are able to tap into their immune system far more than thought possible. So give me a group and I will show you that it's not about the Iceman. It's in a couple of days, I can train these people and they will be able to astound medical paradigm as it is. And we'll show it. You can give them an injection with E. coli and they will show they can control that. And that was after 16,000 people had done it, and they all became sick. And then after my training, nobody got sick. So then they looked inside the blood and they saw all these people were influencing deeply into the autonomic nervous system and the innate immune system. And that is my story before the method really took off. Because then we got the credibility of science that we found a way to biohack into the body far more than ever before was thought possible.
So let's go back even farther. When did you discover the breath, the power of the breath?
When I was 17, first going into the cold. When you go into the cold, first thing you do is you learn to breathe deep. It's a natural reflex to get more life force. Air is life force. That is to activate the body from within. This is to make you stronger. And if you do that controlled, then you become stronger. And then you are able to go into icy water longer and longer and longer. This is what I tested when I was 17. And very soon, I was able to stay very long inside water, icy water, as a 17-year-old. And that is that is 46 years ago. And I found that incredible power in myself. So then, of course, everybody around me was saying, hey, that man goes into cold water. He is crazy. Don't do that. That is not good and all. So I trained on my own. I kept it to myself. For 25 years, I kept it to myself. And then one day I got in connection with the newspaper, and then the story, as earlier mentioned, happened all. But back then, when I was 17 to almost 40 years old, I did it on my own. And I loved it every day, every winter. So doing all kinds of exploits in the extreme cold is, to me, the cold is a noble force. It really ignites my deeper self to come to the surface. It's where I meet stillness. I meet power from within. I never became sick. Never, ever. So what is that? That is a power we have lost in society, a power from within. And I just kept to it. Even though the people were saying, hey, that man is crazy, and I'm not going to do it. This is for you. No. But now it has changed. It all has changed now. Now, millions and millions, I don't know how many millions, but at least 100 million people know me, at least. And it is growing. And it needs to grow because this is what I always thought. My belief has always been, hey man, this is the solution for the comfort zone behavior, modern diseases globally. It is nature. It is simple. It is there, accessible, powerful. Anybody can do it. It's there, but nobody wanted to listen to that. So, but now it's different. After the discovery in the hospital that I could withstand injection with E. coli bacteria, which normally makes you very sick. In my case, I did not become sick. Why? Because I learned to have control over the inner power. Unprecedented deep. And that is where I came from 17 years old. I always had that conviction. I always had that faith. I always had plenty of energy and never becoming sick and being very strong in what I do with myself. So, of course, I wish to share that to the world, but only after the E. coli bacteria endotoxemia research, I got that credibility, and then people began to take it on. And then I did these breathing exercises, the cold exposure, gradual cold exposure, and mindset. That became the Wim Hof Method, proven by science. So that is the story. And it's a story of being alone for about 30 years. But now I'm sharing with millions and millions and millions. I want billions now. Why? Because the thing works and it's good. And it's now the time to bring autonomy to the people, to their own innate capacity to roll over their mind and body much more deeply. That is what I'm presenting. And I let it to the people. Just try it out once. If it doesn't work, blame me. But just do not have an opinion before not having it done at least one time.
Now, going back, it seems you have so much passion for this. From my research into your past, I mean, there was a tragic start to this whole thing.
Yes.
In many ways. Do you mind sharing that with the audience?
Of course. If the mother of your children, the 4 children I had, jumps from 8 stories down, then there is no heavier, black, dark drama than that. That happened in 95, after she kissed the kids goodbye. So how deep do we need to go? That's the deepest you can go. And there I was left behind with my 4 kids, with little money and a broken heart. The only way I could be there with my emotional agony, that was going into icy water. Because then you survive. You are no longer into these abstractions in the mind, this emotional loss. You open up inside, you just stop it. Icy water kills you, or you are there. You just stop. You don't think there. That gave me an opening to healing. So I began very consciously to go into the icy water every day, very consciously, and I got a control over my emotional state of being, because I had to be there for 4 kids with no money. So, that's what the ice did. That's what the cold did. It brought down the emotional agony, and it gave me so much energy. And that created, right now, me and my 4 kids, we have a flourishing global company. And they have been studying, and they did their masters, but they are not doing what they have been learning all about or studying all about. They are doing the Wim Hof Method. They became instructors in that. Those are my daughters, both masters, and now doing this, and they love it so much more. So we are very happy now, but that was not back then. Back then, we came from a very, very dark, heavy place, and we got out, all of us. So now we are teaching how to deal with deep emotional grief, with disease, with depression, with all these ailments. We are giving people tools to work them. So that's where it came from. And out of the darkest of places can flourish a new flower, a new light. That's what we did. Here we are.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And it makes this even more powerful, what you're doing. I have to ask you, why is the cold and cold therapy so powerful in helping us with so many different things in our immune systems, in our mental? I mean, it does test you in a way that there's heat therapy and then there's cold therapy, and they both test you in different extremes. But I've done both. I do both. And cold therapy is, it can be, unless you know the Wim Hof method.
Yes, it is. But imagine when you feel the cold, you put your hand in icy water. That's a power. Yeah, that power can become yours. By learning to neutralize that power, by going in and learning to not only tolerate, but to neutralize from within the impact from the outside coming in. So from within, hormonally activate yourself so strongly that the cold is being met. So that when you then get out, you got a great power, a great activation of inner power present in your body. And that goes into your brain. That gives confidence, gives control, it gives energy, it activates the immune system, and does so much more. So for going into the cold, you need to go within. And that's what it teaches. And it's amazing what then is able to awaken within, which we normally have lost in our comfort zone behavior. And Alex, when situations like mine happen, or any other emotional loss or agony, you better learn to have an inner power to oppose, to heal yourself, to heal your broken heart, to heal your depression, to have that in control is there. That's what the cold is doing. And that is amazing. That is besides of that it also brings a lot better performance ability to the person. And the muscles, it's like when we go into the cold, it seems that we do not move. But from the inside, everything needs to move. So the effectivity and the functionality of muscle tissue gets really much more stronger than by doing dumbbells and all that. It becomes more effective, more functional. They don't grow, but they grow in functionality. They become really strong. Me, I'm 63. I can do dumbbells 1,000 times. 10K here, 10K there. I can do 1,000 times. Why? Because the functionality of my muscles is way better than what you see, what you normally think a muscle is.
Well, let me ask you, because from my experience going into a cold shower, I realized after doing a cold shower in the winter, which is different than doing a cold shower in the summer, where I'm at.
Yes.
Doing a cold shower in the winter, I started doing the breath method, the Wim Hof method, and I started to feel heat coming from inside of me. My skin started to get hotter. And it didn't affect me. The cold, at first, when it hits you, it's like knives. It's like sharp pieces of glass attacking you at all senses. But when you calm yourself and you relax this, you start to take the stress out of it, this calmness came, but the heat started to come out. What is that? Can you explain that to the audience?
That is intercostal muscle activity. Intercostal muscle activity radiates throughout the body very fast. It creates much more energy than brown fat, for example. Intercostal muscle activity is around the lungs, the ribs, intercostal, between the ribs, there are muscles. They begin to vibrate. They begin to vibrate when cold comes in. So much that they create so much energy that you feel warm. And that is just bloody amazing. And because we normally don't go into the cold, we never develop the muscle tone of the intercostal muscle tissue. And so we become cold when we are outside, because any muscle you don't use, you lose.
Atrophies. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it is with the cold endurance, which is in the end the cardiovascular system, that if you don't use the intercostal muscle activity, which affects directly on the vascular system, to run better the blood through the whole of it, which is 125,000 kilometers long. Capillaries, arteries, and veins.
Right.
Millions of little muscles are connected. So once that begins, the warmth of the intercostal muscle activity goes into the blood, goes everywhere. It's amazing. Nobody knew this. I showed it in brain scans, in fMRIs, in blood scans. I showed it. So now they know, but it is still quite unknown in the world. The cold has been a mystery since ever. But now, because we got the measurement devices, we can see what is working, especially when you go into an fMRI and you go into a brain scan, then you can see what's happening inside while being exposed to the cold. And a person like me who is trained in the cold, of course, he's got deeper tissue exercised. And they work very effectively at the moment when cold comes in. This is all natural. It is not only that the cardiovascular system is going to be exercised through going into the cold. It is also the muscle tissue, which produces heat, energy. And that will be flown into the blood system and go everywhere. It is also that the deep brain is activated, because cold is danger. So when danger comes, then the deep brain begins to be activated. That's the brain stem. And with the brain stem comes the opioids, cannabinoids, dopamines, serotonins, all the good stuff is coming to make the person feel okay in a very stressful situation. It's normal, but because we never exercise in the cold, that's why those things don't work. And here comes in the whole pharmaceutical industry, giving us all on which we become dependent. Well, I say get high on your own supply.
Very much so. Very much so. Well, let me ask you, what part does adrenaline play in this method? Because there's some adrenaline coursing through you when you're going into it.
This is the adrenal axis. The adrenal axis spikes. When you do this, the adrenal axis spikes. That is hypothalamus, pituitary gland, adrenal glands. That is the axis. When that works, then you reset the body to its utmost of functionality. Then it's able to withstand whatever is the danger in the best way. So it only spikes to reset the body, to get lost of what should not be in the body. That's why I'm pissed because of fear in a situation, to get rid of all that should not be there, to flee better, to fight better, to move better. It's only logic. So when bacteria comes in or virus, that also is danger. Only in those cases, we have no defense because our immune system is not resetted. It's not alert. And through doing this method, you make the immune system back to its original factory setting. And then suddenly it begins to work, and the bacteria has no chance, the virus has no chance. That's the way we are built. And adrenaline, thus, is a good thing if it spikes. It's not a good thing if it is long-term present.
That's why our ancestors who, roamed the Great Plains here in the States, or in the mountains somewhere, they're exposed to the elements all the time. So they were able to withstand this. Their bodies were much harder than ours were because of the exposure that they were able to do. So they didn't get sick as much, because if you get sick out there, you die, basically.
Yes. So it is. And now, living in the comfort zone behavior of humanity now also lives longer. Because we created peace in our lives. We have less cortisol presence, less stress hormone presence, yet it's still there. Only when we go too much into comfort zone behavior, then we are no longer fully alert inside. When then bacteria or virus comes in, we are vulnerable. We are weakened. So what I say now, with these techniques, we are able to cleanse ourselves of the wrong chemical residue activated through comfort zone behavior. Too much, too low movement, too low, too wrong foods, too less in activity, too much television, etc., makes us weak, and for sure if it is long term. So our bodies are built to be activated. So if we just take the damn cold shower, we just activate all our system, and then it's done. It's like a checkup. And then the energies flow great through the body. And we can have, I love hot showers too. I'm not torturing myself. No, I want to live life to the fullest. And the fullest means I want to feel that I'm alive. So when I go into the icy water, I just tranquil. I know it's such a noble exercise. The power, I feel myself becoming a knight, like a silver layer comes over me, protecting me against a bacteria and virus, protecting me against bad energies, because I am in charge here while being in the cold and silent, like in peace, deep peace. And that's what I do every day. So I don't become sick. I'm always okay. I got great energy. And so whatever was happening in the prehistorics, the evolution right now needs a more making activated mind and body. We got all these modern diseases, and those are signals that something is wrong. Can we tackle that? And there I say yes. And we have shown that through science, that if you go have a cold shower a day, keeps the doctor away. Very simple. And do some deep breathing, by which you bring the vitamins, minerals, oxygen to the deep tissue, to all the cells in your body, and they get fat. And in return, you get all the energy, and you lose anxiety, because anxiety comes from the wrong biochemical residue in our bodies gained through our daily life occupations. So there we are. I come up with simple tools through science, and then bringing it out to the people. So another thing is, now I work with neuroscientists. I did a full research last weekend here in my center with 100 people. And before that, I came from Australia, and they did a brain scan on me. Once again, they did a brain scan on me, comparing it to 9,500 other brain scans. And they were all like, they had baselines, they had seen what activity there normally is in the brain, etc. And then they saw my brain, and my brain is way out, way out. That means what we consider normally to be able to control through using willfully our brain is way less than what I can do. And this is what I want to show to the people. We have a brain, but only partially we are in control. Hence, we cannot find solutions to all the nowadays problems. There it is. Why? Because if you have a limited control over your car, you're bound to make an accident at a certain point. That is life. Life comes with all kinds of situations. And you got a beautiful, great brain, the seat of the mind. And if you get this control, this deeper control, as we have been talking in this podcast, once you go into the cold, the deep brain begins to activate. And because you are going into the cold, you learn to willfully connect, physically connect with the deep brain. And then, Alex, once you get into the deep brain, the deepest part of the brain, then where else can you not go? And that is what I've been showing in the brain scans. In the brain scans, I showed, compared to 9,500 people, by which the greatest database in that field, and by which you would normally consider, hey man, this man more or less is going to be like all the others. Fully out. Not a little bit, it's going to be published because it's only less than 2 weeks that I was there. And it's going to be a case study because it's crazy dramatic. Crazy dramatic, more control within my brain over my body I have. And it's only because I exercised outside the comfort zone behavior. What we normally think is uncomfortable, we don't go. If you do that long time, then atrophies like a muscle, a big part of your brain, which is survival, which is about staying alive. Right. If you go into the icy water, as you know, when you go into the cold, you go to this threshold of initial stressful response of your body, and then you step over, and then suddenly something begins to glow inside, begins to work inside, and it's working all day long, like in your favor. You get more energy, you feel better, your mood is uplifted, your blood circulation goes better, there's more energy, all those things, so simple. So what I'm trying to bring here, together with you, Alex, using your window and to get out there, hey guys, we have a brain and which can be controlled far more and for many more purposes than only going into the cold. It's going into the extremes. It is going into problem solving. It's going into much more power from your willful intent to meet anything out there in the world which normally would be an unovercomable obstacle. Now you learn to have that control. That's the way our mind is built. Our brain is built. and we found the keys now. It's only a matter of time that people begin to realize, hey, science has been proven and that we are actually able to go much deeper into our brain, by which we have a much greater command over mind and body. Autonomy. And autonomy, I think, is the right thing to bring massively to the humanity right now.
Beautifully said, my friend. Beautifully said. Now, let me ask you, you kind of touched upon this, and this is the part that I found so wonderful about using your method, was the mindset, getting out of that comfort zone thing. Because if you, first of all, it's better than any cup of coffee. A cold shower in the morning is better than any cup of coffee ever created. When you walk in, your entire body and mind is saying, get out. You are going to die. But if you stay 10 seconds, 20 seconds, little step by step, you start to exercise the mindset muscle, translates to other aspects of your life where now you are pushing yourself beyond.
That's it, exactly. So as people might think, oh, but I cannot do it because it's too difficult. Oh, this is not to be understood. In neuroscience, they tell me this is not possible. I say it's here, and it's simple. It's powerful and scientifically endorsed that you are innately capacitated with the power to overcome any obstacle in your life. That's the way your mind is built, but not necessarily we are schooled that way. So that's why here, you and me, Alex, we come in and show the people, hey man, with finishing the school, the learning didn't stop. The real learning is to overcome any obstacle, that confidence, that power of your mind that is able to confront itself with any obstacle in life. That power is the power over your mind. It's yours. It's there, inborn. It's Mother Nature who's calling upon you to say, hey, have confidence in life, in your purpose, because you got the tools to get it all. That is the state of your mind. That is what it should be. Nowadays, the youth is suffering from a pandemic of depression. And I say, hey, guys, stop it. Hold it. Here it is. The pure confidence we can have, being able to rely upon our control within our mind to confront ourselves with life's problems, is here. It's proven, it's done, it's simple, effective, and scientifically endorsed. Here it is. Take it on, guys. And if you got questions, ask Alex. Alex, ask me. We are here willing to answer those questions because I go all the way. I want to bring the light to those people who live in the darkness. Unnecessarily, it is now. Unnecessary suffering I've been gone through in 95 when I lost my wife, but I found the light through science. And now I found the light but through going consciously into those deep areas and control my emotions, to learn to whatever makes me emotionally broken, to heal it. And I found it, and I'm here to share it because it's not mine; it's Mother Nature's. It's here to be shared, and that's what we do.
Wim, you're like a ball of energy, my friend. I love your passion. I love the energy that you have with the work you're doing in the world. I want to ask you, what do you think is or what have you felt in regards to your work, in regards to spirituality and tapping into these deeper inner, because a lot of the things you're talking about are physical, but there is a spiritual aspect to a lot of this, going within for the answers. You have the power within. These are very spiritual concepts that have been around for thousands of years. But you're translating it into the physical, but there is a spiritual aspect to it. What is it from your point of view?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely, Alex. If you are able willfully, and this is what I've been showing in brain scans now, to get into the so-called subcortical higher functioning of the brain. Subcortical. Cortical means from your will. What the cortical, the neocortex, the prefrontal cortex, that is our conscious will. But subcortical, underneath, we had no control willfully. And there is the higher functioning, the abstract parcels, they are called. And they are, for example, empathy, fantasy, imagination, pain, control over pain, control over emotion. All those things were outside of our cortical control, our willful control. And now I've shown as the first one, again, hey, this is the way to get into the subcortical areas and to have an absolute deep influence into empathy, so spirituality, creativity, fantasy, imagination, into egolessness, into go past time and space, into pure feeling. All that is now there. And it is, I'm not special, but life is special. And life, I go to life, and then I become special. But everybody should be special, because everybody's right is to live the life to the fullest. And that is now shown to be, you can go with your will into those areas. So-called autonomous processes of the brain are no longer autonomous. They are within our cortical possible control, reach, neural pathways. We just need to believe in a side of ourselves and get something going there with our fantasy, creativity, empathy, imagination, pain control. All those areas are the deep brain, subcortical higher functioning of the brain, and it's there. So this is good for people to begin to think about what you want. Think about what is your purpose in this life. Follow your inner voice. And that inner voice will tell you, hey, you never could do this because of society, this and that. We are so absorbed and schooled in a society that only makes use of a part of our brain. And it schools us in a part of our brain. Yet life is so much more. And that if we don't go to those parts in our brain, then it's once again atrophying the muscle. And so it's simple. Spirituality is who we are. Without a spirit, we stink in one day. So we better get spiritual.
Now, one thing also that I realized, that if you have a problem living in the moment, get into an ice bath. You are only in the moment. You can think of nothing else. You don't think of your problems. You don't think of stress. You don't think of the person who cut you off in traffic. You are there. So do you consider the Wim Hof Method, cold therapy, what we're talking about, a form of meditation? Because you cannot actively think of other things while you're in it, because you have to focus so much energy into what you're doing. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Blood flow to go to the deeper brain. What is the aim of pure meditation? Is to bring the blood flow from the thinking brain into the feeling brain. Just to be there.
Right.
Just being there like Zen. No thoughts, just being. So that is a deeper area of the brain. But when the blood flow stays in the thinking brain, those thoughts, they keep on running, because those thoughts are electrical little currents, neurotransmitters. If you feed them, they go away like the motorway. They go like in the middle of the traffic of of a city. And there you are. Oh, yeah, it goes all the time. Hey, now I meditate. No, fuck, it doesn't happen. You know? No, go into the eyes and you are forced. Your deep brain is forced to attract blood flow, to neurally begin to be activated. And thus the blood flow will go from the surface directly into the deep brain. And that is pure meditation. And they saw, if you do the breathing exercises, they saw compared to people who are doing hours on end for years, mindfulness, if you do the breathing exercises, then you go into deeper areas of the brain. So people within 7 minutes, I mean, with the breathing exercises, then people who do for hours, for years, mindfulness, practicing mindfulness. So they compare the brain scans. So it's very simple. Yes, it is absolutely pure meditation. If you want a real meditation, go into the eyes or do a deep breathing session. And then you will find yourself with unexperienced, deep sensations you have never ever seen, because you make your deep brain fully blood flowing by which it comes to life. And it's amazing.
No, it's absolutely remarkable. Now, have you ever been, or I mean, what you're talking about as far as the power of the breath, this has been around for thousands of years. Yogis have been teaching and talking about breath work for years. But what I think you've done that I hadn't heard anybody else do was add the cold to it, because the breath work by itself is extremely, extremely powerful, correct?
Oh, it is. And it has been there for thousands of years. Back then, they call it pneuma, ki, chi, the pranayama, the kia ora in New Zealand with the Maori. I'm your breath. And it's in every culture is the breath. So the thing is, the problems of nowadays show that we have alienated from these traditions.
Yes.
And I just brought it back. And I brought it back adjusted to the modern day problems. Showing first in science that it works. That it bloody works where normally people have no control. Suddenly they have much deeper control. So as simple as that, it is there. And then together with the comfort zone behavior, which came in since the industrialization processes, everything is an extension tool. Everything is made easier, more comfort. We are dressed all the time. We don't work outside as much. And we are no longer stimulated through our biggest organ, which is our skin. Our skin is completely covered every day. It's like the muscle again, who atrophies because you don't use it. All the millions of receptors end up and begin in the skin. And when there is no stimulation long-term, then the connective organisms and the vascular system is not stimulated as well. So when that happens, your cardiovascular system, which, by the way, is killer number one, cause of the most killings per year everywhere, so in the whole wide world, is because we dress ourselves all the time in comfort. Just take the damn cold shower. Stimulate that beautiful organ, the skin. Besides of that, for the skin, it's great. It's great skin care.
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah,
it's amazing. My wife
tightens the pore.
Says, I'm 63. She said, "Oh, what a soft skin you have." Yeah, baby. I'm your baby.
Yeah, it tightens the pores, if I'm not mistaken. It just closes, so nothing gets in it. No dirt.
When you go into the cold, you come out, you're red. You're red and pink, and that means blood flow is there. And blood flow is life.
Right.
Blood flow has oxygen, nutrients. It has it all. You don't need these bombs all. You need life from within coming to you. Nature knows. Just go into nature, and nature will provide. And your wife will consider you human.
I love it. Now, from my experience, also doing some deep breath work, there was almost a psychedelic aspect to it, where it opened up something inside of me, going into these kind of really, I'm talking about a 20, 30, 40-minute session where you're just deep breathing. What is your experience with, releasing DMT or releasing psychedelic substances within yourself, your own supply, as you call it?
Yeah. Get high on your own supply. It's all there. The formula is simple. Melatonin is a hormone inside our bodies. Yeah. But when you go into the breathing exercises, melatonin minus CO2 becomes DMT. And DMT is dimethyltryptamine that is released in deep sleep, in the REM sleep, the deep sleep. That is to process all trauma, non-processed influx of experiences, traumas, inhibitions, fears, all there, three-dimensional. It's making it all without looking at it. All becomes three-dimensional, is to process whatever is blocking inside the system in the depths. And that only happens if you go past the conditioned mind and body. And that takes about 30, 40 minutes of deep breathing. But then you get into the depths of the DNA, the gene expressions, past lives. You can name it. It's all there. And we are able to access into it through these breathing techniques. Yes.
Now, if someone's listening at home, what are some basic things that they could do to try this out if they wanted to try this out?
So I got the breathing bubble, which is been downloaded for 63 million times. It means it works. If something doesn't work, we never promote anything. And so, but this works, and that's the promotion. It works, take it off. And let me tell you, who has never done it, hey man, the best thing you can do is doing this. Don't stick with an opinion or thought. Do not listen to this podcast only. Do it once. Please, we love you. We want to empower you. We want to give you something that has proven itself through science to be so powerful, so mind-shifting, paradigm-shifting. It's here. It's for you. Take it on, man. This is the challenge called life. We want to share life to the fullest with you. Just try it out once. If it doesn't work, as I said in the beginning, blame me. But if it works, stick to it and pass it on.
Absolutely. I'll put a link to that in the descriptions. Now I'm going to ask you a few questions. Ask all my guests, Wim. What is your definition of living a fulfilled life?
If I'm doing this right now, what we are doing, Alex, bringing it out to so many people and kill unnecessary suffering in the world, that's absolutely my mission.
What would you, if you had a chance to go back and tell your younger self something, what would it be?
I would tell him, keep on going, man. You're going the right way.
How do you define God?
God is right here, right now within us. It's love, and love is accessible. We are able to access into the deepest of ourselves and get control over our beautiful mind to flourish, to radiate outside the love, good energy, bring solutions, bring solace for those who don't know, and take away the darkness, bring light to those. And do it every day. That is, to me, is God. God is alive.
And what is the ultimate purpose of life?
To heal the world, to heal the universe, to live up to your purpose. And the purpose is to bring love and the light. Absolutely.
And where can people find out more about you and the amazing work that you're doing, sir?
So just look me up, Wim Hof. You know, I've never been on my own website. So, but my name is Wim Hof, and it's a simple name for a guy who's got faith. He's a simple guy, but he has got faith to change the world. And once you do it yourself, then we do it together, side by side.
And do you have any final words for everybody listening?
All the love, all the power, it's there. It's for us. It's tangible, accessible, proven. Here it is. And I thank you, Alex, for making use of your window to bring it out to so many. That's amazing work. Keep it up. So
it has been an absolute honor and privilege and just a joy talking to you, my friend. I love your energy and I love your mission. And hopefully in a small way, I can help you get the word out, my friend. Thank you again for all the hard work you're doing and the continued work that you're doing on your mission in this world, my friend. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Alex. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching. Click on one of the videos below to continue your journey and don't forget to subscribe.